YouTube video we got. NFL is in shock. Jaden Daniels as thumbnail. Gotta say is that LSU.
The NFL got put on notice because this game here between the Commanders and Falcons showed us what the future of the NFL will look like. Both of these teams had something to play for in this game. The Falcons needed to win this game in order to remain afloat in their division and make the playoffs. If they lost, they'd be eliminated. Meanwhile, the Commanders were fighting for their playoff seeding and fighting to keep their momentum alive headed into the playoffs. And the stage was set to witness two future star NFL quarterbacks face off against one another on prime time for everyone to see. On one hand, we have the Rookie of the Year in Jaden Daniels. He's been shattering records and taking names left and right. His dual threat play style puts pressure on even the most elite of defenses, no matter what personnel they have. And on the other hand, we have Michael Penix Jr., one of the most accurate and poised quarterbacks to come out of the NFL draft in ages, making just his second career start on the road against the Commanders. As the game kicked off, you could tell that this was a playoff level atmosphere. Early on in the game, Michael Penix struggled a little bit, and he threw a head-scratching interception. Coach Raheem Morris later mentioned that the route was ran incorrectly, but it was still a turnover and it got the Commanders' crowd into the game very early on. Washington correctly, and he threw a head-scratching interception. Early on in the game, Michael Penix struggled a little bit, and he threw a head-scratching interception. Coach Raheem Morris later mentioned that the route was ran incorrectly, but it was still a turnover and it got the Commanders' crowd into the game very early on. Washington responded with a combo of passing and runs that got them down into the red zone. And Jaden Daniels finished off the drive with a touchdown pass to Zacchaeus to take an early lead.
It's Daniels throwing, touchdown Zacchaeus!
But after that interception, Michael Penix knew he had to play better. He lead the Falcons down the field and set up Bijan to tie the game back up.
Y'all seen all them receivers? Brian Thomas Jr. Who else? Malik Neighbors. Somebody else. But whatever. Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. Yo, come on, bro. That LSU shit. That's that LSU.
The Falcons' defense also stepped up as well because they were able to get Jaden Daniels to throw an interception to them. Atlanta capitalized off of this again with another touchdown to go up 14-7, and they even got a field goal in before halftime as well to extend their lead 17-7. But out of halftime, the Commanders really turned it up a notch. During the entire third quarter, Jaden Daniels showed the true power of his dual threat nature. His legs took over drives, converting fourth downs, keeping the defense honest, and making plays with his arms when he had to. This first drive lasted for 15 plays, as the Commanders were able to get the run game churning and keep the ball moving. And it resulted in Jaden Daniels finally slinging a touchdown into the end zone. The Commanders then quickly scored another touchdown to take the lead and even kicked a field goal to make it 24-17. But Michael Penix made magic happen for the Atlanta Falcons. He converted a magical 4th and 11 play and got the Falcons all the way down into the red zone. But in the red zone, chaos ensued. The Falcons were trying to run a wildcat play and the ball flew over Bijan's head. But somehow Michael Penix was able to make it up and connected with Kyle Pitts to score a touchdown and make it 24-23. But then there was a decision to see if they wanted to go for 2 or just kick the field goal. They elected to kick the field goal, and by doing this, they gave the Commanders a minute left and a timeout to spare. Everyone was on the edge of their seat waiting to see if the Commanders could pull off yet another game-winning drive, but this time they weren't able to do it. The Falcons got 3 massive defensive stops and forced the Commanders to punt the ball back. The Falcons then had a real chance to win the game, as they had 2 timeouts and 40 seconds left. But for some reason,
yo, I seen a post, it was like, NFL players compare Jaden Daniels to like a Patrick Mahomes 2.0. Yo, that might be the amazing shit ever.
They didn't call a timeout and ran a bunch of time off the clock. They ended up going for a field goal at the end, and the kick was dead on target, but it ended up being short. This game was going to overtime, but the Commanders won the toss and elected to receive it. Jaden then marched down the field and threw a game-sealing touchdown to end the game, sending the Atlanta Falcons home in dramatic fashion. Honestly, I think Raheem Morris should have went for 2 in that situation, but either way, the Falcons are now eliminated. Jaden Daniels proved to us yet again that he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and it goes beyond just being Rookie of the Year. And Michael Penix is turning out to be a solid rookie quarterback. Considering this was only his second start, it's going to be crazy to see what he turns into. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the Commanders can cause a few upsets in the playoffs or maybe even make the Super Bowl?
Alright, it's too far. They might cause upset, maybe two, but Super Bowl, that's too far. But yeah, man.